Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today Bitcoin is up with 3% and the price of Bitcoin is over $16,000. This is a very bullish sign and it is very good for the market. So now I want to show you this chart here. Percentage of total market capitalization, the dominance of Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. So before the beginning of the last bull market, Bitcoin's dominance was over 90%, but after the bull market started, actually in time Bitcoin's dominance fell a lot, but Ethereum's and XRP's dominance rose a lot after Bitcoin's dominance fell. So that's why I think that currently we are in the early stages of the next bull market, and that's why Bitcoin's dominance is going to rise, and this is very good for the market because then Bitcoin's dominance is going to fall and the other cryptocurrencies are going to gain momentum and they are going to rise in price. This is not a financial advice, of course. This is for entertainment purposes only. So just think about it. At the moment, if we compare this next bull market with the last one, the conditions here for the cryptocurrency market are much better. Why? Well, because we are in a crisis. We are in an economic crisis at the moment, and also the pandemic is the catalyst for this economic crisis. The Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank are creating money out of nothing, and they're slowly but surely destroying the value of their currencies. So this is a very good argument for crypto, and that's why so many investors and companies are putting their money into Bitcoin, and in my opinion they are going to start investing in other cryptocurrencies also. They're going to start with the second cryptocurrency by market cap, Ethereum, and they're going to continue with XRP and others. Because of the current pandemic and economic crisis, our world is changing, and it is going to change even more. There is big demand for digital payments, which is going to rise with time. And that's why the use case for CBDCs is really very strong, and that's why I think that XRP and XLM are going to be the big winners in the next bull run, because they're best suited to serve as bridge assets in the new world order. And today Christine Lagarde and Jerome Powell participated in a discussion on the ECB forum on central banking 2020, central banks in a shifting world. So let's listen now to Christine Lagarde. She is speaking first about the digitalization of our world and what changes we are going to experience in the future. So listen.
Rula, because I think that it's a coin that has two sides. And yes, sectors will be affected and will be transformed, and there will be losses and liabilities and damage. But sectors will also be transformed in a positive way. If you look at, for instance, medical services, which typically were not heavily digitalized and where the personal contact was still regarded as the prevalent way of providing medical services. This is radically changing at the moment. And I'm sure that Jay has those numbers as well. But it was something like 11% of Americans who used telemedicine. It's now moved up to almost 50%. And of those 50%, most of them are quite happy with what they're getting, and they're happy to actually continue with it. So in the same way, payments have been also significantly transformed, closer to home in a way, where a lot of digital payments are accelerating, are pushing us in the direction of exploring alternative modes of payments. And there will be transformation that will be beneficial. There will be sectors or services that were not available that can be now provided from anywhere to somewhere, to use the David Goodhart analogies. And that can be extremely beneficial. Plus, being a little bit from my corner here in Europe, it will accelerate digitalisation, which is an area where Europe was a little bit lagging behind and where clearly much progress had to be made. So to the extent that this is supported by the training that is necessary, the skill setting, resetting, however it's called now, I think that it will be beneficial for productivity in Europe in particular.
If I could come back in there really.
And several members of the audience are asking how central banks see the prospects for central bank digital currencies, and also whether this would risk crowding out cash and non-cash electronic payments. Let's start with Chair Powell.
So here at the Fed and in the United States, we're committed to carefully and thoughtfully evaluating the potential costs and benefits of a central bank digital currency, which we all call it a CBDC, for the U.S. economy, for our payment system, and also for the international implications. We've been actively participating with Andrew and Christine and other central banks at the BIS to look at this, and we feel that's been a very productive collaboration. We haven't made a decision to issue a central bank digital currency, and we think there's quite a lot of work yet to be done as we engage with public constituencies here in the United States and around the world before making a decision. Also, the dollar is the world's principal reserve currency, and I assure you that we will approach that question with great care. From our standpoint, the main focus is on whether and how a CBDC could improve what is already a safe, effective, and dynamic domestic payment system. We actually do still have strong demand for cash here, which I think is different than some other jurisdictions. So we really would need this to be done in a way that does not preempt the use of cash or the use of other private digital currencies or non-central bank digital currencies, such as the FedNow payment thing that we've announced. The last thing I'll say is, we feel an obligation to be on the frontier of research on technology and policy development on this. But as the main reserve currency, we do feel it's critical that we get it right, as opposed to try to be the first. In a way, we're the incumbent reserve currency, and so we're going to be very careful and engage quite extensively on this before we make a decision.
President.
In my opinion, the US and the Federal Reserve don't have to hurry with the CBDC. Why? Because it is already here, and the USDC, in my opinion, is playing the role of a CBDC for the Federal Reserve. Yes, it is only 2.9 billion in circulation, but this is only the beginning. So this stablecoin is operating legally in the US and in the world, and in my opinion, it is some kind of CBDC which is already in existence. And don't forget that Stellar was announced as an official chain for USDC. So this is very big and very bullish for the Stellar network and for XLM as a bridge asset.
There's an expectation the ECB will be first.
We're not racing to be first. We believe that a digital euro will not be a substitute for cash. It will be a complement to cash. And clearly it's not, it's not a nicety, it's not a tantrum. It is something that if it is cheaper, faster, more secure for the users, then we should explore it. If it is going to contribute to a better monetary sovereignty, a better autonomy for the euro area, I think we should explore it. And if it is going to facilitate cross-border payments, which are very laborious in quite a few corners of our big world, then we should explore it. So that's the reason why we have launched a consultation in mid-October that will be completed in mid-January. And at that point in time, we will make the decision as to whether or not we go forward with a digital euro. And my hunch, but this is a decision that will be taken collectively, is that we might well go in that direction, which does not mean that a digital euro is going to be available right away, because obviously we are going to have to address all the issues of anti-money laundering, financing of terrorism, privacy of users and all their information, the appropriate technology that will carry that digital currency. And this is, a project that will probably take us 2, 3, 4 years before it is launched. Just to give you an indication, the PBOC, which is the Central Bank of China, has started exploring this about 5 years ago. In the same way, Facebook, which is exploring a private stablecoin, has started about 4 years ago, and their Libra is certainly well advanced. But it's also a good reason for all of us to be very attentive to the way in which monetary policy can be secured and monetary transmission can be safeguarded. So those are the reasons why we are moving ahead and diligently, not uncautiously. So we will be prudent. We know it will not replace cash, but my hunch is that it will come. No, I think the main driver is to respond to our customers. What do the people of Europe want? How do they want to pay? How do they want to use payments? And it is clear that in some of the euro area countries, member states, the use of cash is significantly declining to the benefit of digital payments. If you look at a country like Sweden, for instance, if you look at the Netherlands, it's moving extremely fast. So we cannot be.
And the pandemic has accelerated this.
The pandemic has definitely accelerated that. Instant payment and digital payments have increased significantly over the course of the last few months. Yeah.
Where does the